Hello there. My video connection may not be great here, my internet connection, but hopefully this will work. So I'm coming to you from the road. I am in a hotel, obviously, my hotel room, on the border between Arizona and California. Excuse me, on my way to go visit some friends in Northern California. It's been quite a journey, a lot of distance I traveled, and it's so funny because I could feel myself judging myself about it because it was a little wackadoodle what I did. Because I was in Southern California, as you know, and then I drove Monday, so 2 days ago, I drove close to 600 miles to eastern Arizona, to about 3 hours east of Phoenix, and then stayed with a friend for 2 nights. And then today, drove another like 600 miles back into California. And then tomorrow I'm going to be driving like another 600 miles to Northern California to stay with some friends to the weekend. So I could feel myself going like, this is nuts because, you know, seemingly like a sensible thing. Oh, hi, Nat. Hi, I'm so happy you're here watching. I wish you were actually here with me. We could have a cup of tea and chat. But anyway, I'm a little punchy from the road. So anyway, and then, what would be sort of seemingly sensible would be I'm already in California, right? It would be like a day's drive to where I'm going tomorrow, but I had to do the thing to Arizona. But what I realized is like, well, that's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm on this journey, right? I'm on this traveling to, figure out where I'm going to live and where my new home is going to be, my new outer home. Somebody pointed out to me recently, I was talking to a friend, and she reflected to me that this is kind of like it's about finding the outer home and the inner home. And I love that because that really is very much what this is about. But so anyway, so I went to visit this friend of mine out in Arizona. And so I wanted to talk about how I'm making decisions, about how I'm learning to make decisions about what to do, because coming out here, right? And so my plan, such as it was when I left the East, was I knew that I wanted to live the Rockies. What I was getting was like the Rockies and West, and that's a pretty vast area, right? So what's the plan? How does one go about figuring out where I'm actually going to land? And the truth is, I don't have a plan for that. I don't know. I'm just sort of kind of making it up as I go along. And what's kind of cool about it is that, like, it's happening. Like, I knew when I was leaving back east, that like, I only really know what the next step is, maybe 2 steps ahead, but I don't know beyond that. And there's going to be a lot of steps between, where I am and where I'm going to land. I don't know how many steps there are going to be. Somebody asked me, my friend that I was just with in Arizona asked me, like, when did I think I would actually find someplace? And I honestly have no idea. Could be next month. It could be next year. I don't know. But what I realized as far as how I'm making these decisions is like something will just come in, an idea will come in somehow, or someone will reach out to me and invite me somewhere, or I don't know, or things just appear in interesting ways. It could be tomorrow. You're right, Nat. It could be tomorrow. Maybe I'll end up staying in this hotel. Who knows? So the way that this friend of mine that I just went and spent 2 nights with, she's somebody that I knew way back. The first job I got out of college in 1985, I was a traditional physical therapist, at the time I wasn't even like an orthopedic sports medicine. I was just physical therapy, fresh out of school, and got a job at a hospital. It was where I had my last clinical affiliation, and they hired me, and so I stayed. And the occupational therapist that worked there at the time, this woman Beth, she and I, and then another woman who's a good friend of mine still, the three of us, is a physical therapist like me also, this other friend. So the three of us just palled around a lot for that couple of years afterwards. We used to jokingly refer to ourselves as the Golden Girls. Maybe you get that reference, maybe you don't, I don't know. But we spent a lot of time together, and but that was a long time ago, right? That was like 35, 85, 95, 15, 36 years ago, something like that, 35, 36 years ago. So it was like almost like a past life, right? Like I was a very different person then. And this woman that I was visiting, Beth, she stayed kind of in a traditional medical model world. And then my other friend that used to hang around with us, she and I both went and sort of embarked on this alternate kind of quote an alternative healing journey. And at the time, that felt very. I remember people even saying to me about craniosacral therapy, referring to it as voodoo, and so it was really a kind of an edgy thing to do. And I had a lot of kind of, I don't know if I'd say judgment, but difficulty with that transition, going from like the conventional model into a more unconventional model. But that's where my path took me, and my other friend too. And this woman, Beth, she was even saying this when I was visiting her, that how she was skeptical back then. So there was some tension back then, because I was not graceful. I was just learning and figuring things out, and I didn't know how to talk about it. So, we had some difficult exchanges at times. But anyway, so Beth went off on her journey and ended up, doing a lot of things with her life and her career, and moving out to the West Coast and various places. And I didn't really stay in touch with her much. It wasn't like we had an ongoing regular friendship. We did get together a couple of times after that, and I visited her out in Seattle at one point. And but when we were just together, we were trying to figure out when is the last time we saw each other, and we thought somewhere around 25 years ago. And we're connected through Facebook, but don't really have a lot of interaction through Facebook. And so anyway, when I first posted when I was leaving the East Coast to start out on this journey, I posted a video, I think it was, and Beth saw it, and she reached out to me. She messaged me and said, "Hey, why don't we have a place in Arizona, in this town, and would love to have you, would love to see you." So there was something about that just stayed with me, and it didn't go. It just stayed. I was like, well, and in myself, I just kind of knew, of course I'm going to go there. It was really interesting. So I did. And I didn't even know why. I was like, I don't know why I'm going there. I guess it's just checking places out or whatever. But I just knew I needed to. So, and then it was this whole, and they're only there through like October, November, because it gets wintry where they are. And then, but I wanted to check out, they're in the mountains in eastern Arizona. So I wanted to check out the mountains in Arizona. So off I went, on this big detour before I go up to Northern California. And I was kind of nervous, because we hadn't talked to each other, hadn't seen each other for a while. And, who knows how we've changed and where the commonalities are and all of that. And so I was a little hesitant, a little nervous, but open. And I knew it was right for me to go. So we had the best time. It was like, we were both pretty amazed, and we remarked on it a few times of just like how comfortable it was and how easy it was, and how just we talked a lot. And, we both kind of recognize that we're both very different people. We've had very different paths and trajectories, but yet the essence is still the same of the connection that we had back then. So, but I realized for me, it was like, it was a healing. It felt like a full circle, or I still don't quite know exactly, quote, why I needed to go there, but I can feel the power of having done that. It felt like an important piece of, not closure, not healing, but like a full circle moment. And so that's why I ended up needing to go out there. I still don't know how it fits into the whole picture, but I just feel really like lit up from the drive. It was beautiful. I was just like in love with this beautiful earth of ours the whole time I was driving, and just enjoying our connection. She took such good care of me. She cooked for me and fed me, and her bed that I slept in, I've been sleeping on an air mattress at the place I was staying in Southern California, which is comfortable. I was very comfortable there, but to sleep in a bed, I get up the first morning that I was there, and I said to her, I think I found my new home is this bed. So, but anyway, so what as far as that piece about how I'm making decisions, it's like I'm just a receiver of information, and also being curious and exploring things, but just trusting like the next step will come when I know what it is. So right now I've got November pretty planned out. I'm heading up to Northern California, then up to Oregon and Washington. So we'll see what unfolds over these next few weeks. And then after that, I don't really have a plan. So it's pretty wild. And right now, I am in very much in trust and in excitement about the adventure and the journey and just seeing what unfolds. And it's pretty amazing. So just wanted to hop on here and share that. And Brenda's here. Hi, Brenda. So yeah, so I will sign off. I will be I have like a 10-hour day tomorrow, so it'll be a long day. But what I realized today, the plan is to follow my inner promptings. Absolutely. Yes, inner promptings. I like that. Yeah, so today when I was leaving Arizona and I was getting in the car, I realized I love road trips. I just love being in the car and seeing the stuff and driving and going places. So I was able to really connect to that. Like, I love this. So anyway, that's my update. I'm doing great right now. And yeah, it's all good. So I'll be hopping back on here again. Maybe once I get up to the Northwest, once I get up to the Portland area, I'll hop back on and give you an update. All right. Hope you're well. Great to know that you both were here. And I'll be back. Bye. Finish.